design possibility that you could find, you see there. So that's the reason we agreed to be at JLF Soneva Fushi, which is now going to be in May of 2022. And we're absolutely delighted to have our partner. This will be our first bespoke JLF, and I know that's a question that I've been asked, how come? We do believe that there's a space for it, and that's the reason we've accepted to do this wonderful festival. And I think all of us are looking forward to being there this May to luxuriate in your beautiful premises. So, done. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Sanjoy. I think you've done the great job of selling Soneva Fushi better than myself. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming along this afternoon. As Sanjoy said, I'm delighted to be here on behalf of our CEO and co-founder Sonu and Eva Shivastani. We are delighted that we are able to bring the JLF Soneva Fushi to our wonderful resort. The event itself will be happening from the 13th to the 22nd of May, and as Sanjoy said, not only will we have an exceptional lineup of authors, but you get to experience all the beautiful surroundings of Soneva Fushi. So it'll be a bespoke experience. We are limiting it to 200 guests, so it'll be a more intimate event as well. And you'll have lots of wonderful interactions with the authors, as well as enjoying all the rare experiences that Soneva Fushi has to offer. For example, we will be having a welcome cocktail party on our beautiful white sandy beaches there. You'll be having poetry sessions on our rooftop of our Soneva Sofishi there as well. We'll have live music sessions at our Soneva and Aqua yacht. And you'll get to be able to interact with the authors there, and a lot of private events and lunches as well. So very intimate surroundings there. And it's going to be a 10-day festival over 2 weekends. So we invite people to either come. We have a 4-night package, and included in that package will be all of the wonderful rare experiences, and also full board in all of our Michelin star restaurants there. We have 3 Michelin star, 2 Michelin star chefs that will be visiting us. So I know William will like that very much there as well. So.
I'm normally a very ascetic personality and barely eat at all. But
the surroundings speak for themselves. I think, the beautiful white sandy beaches and the beautiful aqua azure waters, you can't beat that in the Maldives there as well. So I think, it's going to be a very exciting program. We're looking forward to welcoming everyone to come and see as well. So I think, yeah.
Thank you, Donna. I'm not sure just because she's been there, so I wanted to just convey a little bit of the experience, but also say Soneva Fushi is a place that recycles everything, which is the reason today we are sitting in all of these wonderful upcycled artist furniture that you can see, which has been made out of old recyclable motor parts, I think. But sure.
Thank you all for being here, and we're all looking forward to JLF at Soneva Fushi. As someone who's visited several times, the first thing that struck me on my first visit was the sustainability and the complete commitment that Sonu and Eva have. Every tiny single detail of the resort is eco-friendly and aesthetic, and created in a way that makes the entire experience so very unique. Because they take away your shoes the moment you land. They say that the idea is to have sand between your toes.
Yes, so
and
no shoes.
Yes, so no shoes. And the food is very obvious. But apart from any of this, when Sonu first broached the subject of hosting a Lit Fest there, I really thought it was a marvelous idea, because it makes it so unique to be able to interact in an intimate way with some of your favorite writers, to listen to poetry under the stars, to have music playing as you go on these wonderful boats. Perhaps if that's part of the program, I hope it is.
Yes.
Or even just to be on a beach with mashals and or with the moonlight, and have readings and interactions with writers, poets, and musicians would certainly make this the most unique literary event perhaps on earth. And under a canopy of stars which you look up, and in polluted cities like ours, you barely get to see stars. There you see stars, and you see stars, if you know what I mean. And it's quite magical, and I'm so...
Stars above you, stars below you.
Something like that. And,
Not below you, but stars beside you.
it's certainly an experience that the first year is going to establish something that I hope will be carried forward, because it's always word of mouth, and the lucky 200 who will be present, I'm sure will go back with great memories of what Soneva has to offer and what Lit Fest of this kind has to offer. So we're all looking forward to it, and thank you very much for organizing this, and I've been having this useful whenever.
If I can butt in, there are some literary festivals that are easier to get star authors to than others. And I love Belfast with all my heart, but people are not queuing up to jump to JLF Belfast. On this occasion, however, we have been completely deluged by every writer that's heard rumours of this thing. Please, can we come to the Maldives? And we have assembled a list which is a very tight, which you might call it the kind of literary special forces, or the kind of this is the most elite team of wonder writers that we've ever had. Should I just read out some names?
Absolutely, please go ahead.
Namita and I have been actually, it's been hard only in the sense of having to fend people off rather than get the stars.
No, a lot of the programming, as William said, has happened quite by itself, because people who have heard of it have said they wanted to come. One thing about our festival which remains wherever in the world it is that it is diverse and it is inclusive. So we have tried to keep it some diversity, some inclusiveness. I haven't been there, and for me to get the spirit of the place, I have to know it. So when our friend Ankur went there last, I said, get me a bit of sand from the beach, or get me a seashell. He got me a beautiful seashell, which is now in my little mandir, and I know it will go beautifully. But for me, I think it will, the names and all William will tell you, but how I see, he'll read out the program as it stands now, which will go through, I'm sure, some revisions from everybody, reality checks. But I see it as a planetary experience. We are ravaged by war, we are ravaged by infections, we are ravaged by things, but here we are in an island, in the middle of an ocean, listening to our inner human being, and in a spirit of harmony, which is almost impossible to find anywhere in the world. So I think we will honor that through literature, through music, through poetry. And I believe it'll be like that, though I'm sure there'll be a little arguments and lots of gossip.
Lots of gossip.
It's where three writers gather together. Both gossip and arguments are inevitable. I mean, I won't read everyone out, but just to give you a taste of the incredible lineup. Well, Chimamanda Adichie. Chimamanda was here early in her career, and has turned out every invitation to join forces, but at the first mention of the Maldives, said, yes, please, I'd love to come.
No, don't diss your writer.
I don't disagree.
That's it.
But I
No, just let's keep it.
Mira
We're
and I-
honored to have her. She's found the time to come. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and I'm thrilled. Mira and I, great film writer, great filmmaker, one of our old friends at the festival, spectacular, from Monsoon Wedding to Slam Bombay at the beginning to Mississippi Masana and all the other wondrous things she's done. Obviously, Maldives is on the front line of the whole climate emergency story with rising sea levels, and we have therefore asked David Wallace Wells, who is an extraordinary figure, has written some of the most powerful articles and most worrying and terrifying articles on the threat, the existential threat that climate change means for us all. From a completely different end of the world, Huma Abedin, the Chief of Staff for Hillary Clinton and a real insider in the world of politics.
And Actually, arrives tomorrow, in fact, to the festival here, who was coming in here.
Peter Frankopan, the pin-up historian of the Silk Roads, but also a deeply serious professor of global history at Oxford and at Cambridge and at several other universities. The great and much missed this week, B.N. Goswami, who was due to be here, everyone's favourite art historian of India, and sadly not with us due to family health issues. Not him, thankfully, but another member of his family is very ill and he couldn't do it this week, but we very much hope he will be at the Maldives with us. Patrick Braddon Keefe, not a name well known in India, but one of the great non-fiction writers of our time, New Yorker staff writer, and one of those irritating people who writes a brilliant book every other year. He won a whole series of awards 2 years ago for his IRA book, which is an extraordinary insider's account of life in Northern Ireland during the Troubles. And then within 18 months of that, produced another book, which won all the awards the next year as well, which was on the opioid crisis and the Sackler family.
The Bottle of Lies.
Bottle of Lies.
Oh, sorry, the Empire of Pain. Sorry, Bottle of Lies.
Do you want to take over that or carry on reading?
No.
That's
No,
page
no,
2.
I'm not being very well today, so.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
And Mahmood Mamdani was listed as one of the 100 times influencers of his time. He wrote Good Muslim, Bad Muslim.
Extraordinary writer, brilliant academic, but also one that can reach out and engage a much wider audience. Gopal Krishna Gandhi, of course, one of the Mahatma's grandchildren, and great writer and former governor of West Bengal, but also historian and a man of parts, an extraordinary, gentle, strong, and wonderful presence, a man of great sanity and humanity. Marcus de Sotoy, Oxford mathematical professor who's made the study of mathematics, brought it to a much wider audience, and is also certainly a specialist in early Indian mathematics, Aryabhatta and Brahmagupta and all that sort of stuff. And a man who's written a special paper on the earliest manuscript where zero is found, the discovery of zero. Ranjit Hoskoti, who's here with us, brilliant poet from Bombay,
Has
translator.
won the award just now, the Mahavita Shakespeare Award.
Fantastic. A certain author called Shobhade, who is fantastic, brilliant in every way. And Elif Shafak, Turkish superstar, formerly based in Istanbul, but since the rise of Erdogan, moved to London, and is taken the city by storm, and is now one of the most read and most acclaimed fiction writers. Pavan Varma, who again was here today, is speaking brilliantly on Hindu civilization and on politics. Shashi Tharoor, who will no doubt have the same sort of hyper effect in
The dolphins will be swarming out on the island just to listen to him.
Vikas Swarup, former Prime Minister's spokesman and ambassador in all sorts of countries, now retired, but also in his spare time, irritatingly, the author of Slumdog Millionaire and many other remarkable novels.
So if I can just, and so speaking of Slumdog Millionaire, so at Cinema Fushi we had a wonderful outdoor cinema award as well. So we'll be showing that movie, Slumdog Millionaire, for all of our guests to see as well.
And Francesca Cartier-Brickell, who's writing about Cartier's family
The grandfather.
having a grandfather's jewellery business behind her, also a JLF alumnus. The great, we are lucky enough to present this year's great Sahitya Academy Award winner, who we understand is not in full health today, but we hope will be better by the time she gets to the Maldives. And Andre Aciman, whose wonderful book, Call Me By Your Name, a sort of gay coming-of-age story, was one of the great hits of 2 or 3 years ago when it was put up by James Ivory into a brilliant movie, and so on. So it's a small, elite, but fantastically talented group of incredibly wonderful and charming and splendid writers.
And we'll also have lots of yoga, we'll have meditation, we'll have all of the workshops that we do from glass blowing and art, you'll be able to go scuba diving, you'll be able to go to the reefs, play with the dolphins and lots of great food as well.
Yes,
So, totally exciting.
So definitely, I think I'm putting you on the payroll.
I'm only worried we're losing Teamwork Arts is going to move to the Maldives. Head office no longer Meroli, but Maldives.
Yeah, so the day will start in the morning with yoga and meditation there as well, and then you move into all of the orca sessions, which is all included in your program there, and then glass blowing classes, as we mentioned, art, Bollywood dancing there as well. So it's going to be an
And
exciting
music in the morning, music in the evening, pretty much like we do in
Exactly.
all our festivals at GLF. So yeah, that's it. I think that we're
Small but beautiful.
So come and join us and enjoy the Zanina Slow
A
Life.
miniature beachside version of this. Thank you very much.
Any
No,
questions?
I mean, yeah, there's morning music, evening music, I think everybody gets the sense of it, but it's an amazing place. And it's an amazing atmosphere, and the nicest thing is that they've got a whole place which is only for chocolates.
Yes.
And there's another whole place which is only for ice cream.
And
All of these homemade or
yes,
made
all of our
of
ice creams and chocolates are dairy-free, sugar-free.
Yeah. And for those of us who prefer, we're not into too much of the grass or the other stuff, it's a great meat to the place only to this. So that has enough.
Does anyone have any questions?
I must run off. I've got a session. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thanks, William. So, any questions from anybody? So, my colleague